क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग की डिफरेंट एप्लीकेशंस इन बायोइन्फॉर्मेटिक्स डोमेन। इस मॉड्यूल में हम क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग की एप्लीकेशन देखेंगे फॉर वन स्पेसिफिक टास्क, मल्टीपल सीक्वेंस अलाइनमेंट। As you already know that multiple sequence alignment is a very important task when we have certain or several levels of sequences and we want to align them to find out similarities and dissimilarities. Now what happens is that, as you know, this multiple sequence alignment has different algorithms available, and these algorithms have been developed or implemented in several software applications. लेकिन ये जो सॉफ्टवेयर एप्लीकेशंस हैं या एल्गोरिदम्स हैं, इनकी लिमिट्स हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल, व्हाट हैपन्स एट द मोमेंट देयर इज नो software application available which works for more than 50,000 sequences at current times. अब ये क्यों लिमिट्स हैं? बिकॉज एज द नंबर ऑफ सीक्वेंसेस ग्रो, कंप्यूटेशन पावर रिड्यूसेस. For example, we have large number or large amount of DNA, RNA, protein sequences. They are not just 50,000, there are more than these numbers. So once these numbers are very large, our multiple sequence alignments algorithms become decreasing or they start breaking down. So what happens? What is the need then? We need high quality multiple sequence alignment algorithms. For example, here I have given an example of cluster omega, which is a very famous software for multiple sequence alignment problems. What it can do, it can take 190,000 sequences, and these sequences it will take several hours on some current very good high computing machine to align those sequences. Okay, about these cluster omega software, but what are the other softwares? There was a study in which the authors took 18 different multiple sequence alignment algorithms, and their motive or their goal was to assign or align 50,000 genome sequences. What was the result? That is very, very strange. For example, T-Coffee, PS-Align, Prank, FSA, and Mummels, which are other multiple sequence alignment softwares, they were able to align only 100 sequences. When the number of sequences was greater than 100, they broke down. Then Propcons, Muscle, Cluster W, and so on, they were able to align only 1000 sequences. So again, it was a very short number. Cluster Omega, K-Align, and Partry, they were able to identify or align roughly 50,000 sequences. After 50,000 sequences, either their working was very, very low or they broke down. So how can we make some softwares which can work for these large number of sequences? Answer is high performance computing. So what we conclude from all this discussion is that there is progressive decrease in the computational power as the number of sequences increase. Now the problem is we want to solve this progressive decrease type things. But for that thing, we should have a knowledge what are the reasons of this downfall. Is just the increasing the number of sequences the reason, or are there other reasons as well? The major reason is that multiple sequence alignment techniques are mostly heuristic based. So if they are heuristic based, there is the chance of errors and noise in calculations. So if there is error or noise in the start of the sequence alignment, then this noise or error will be propagated in the next alignment phases. So what happens is, with the passage of time, this noise or error becomes impossible to capture or to deal with. Then we have computational complexity. As the number of sequences increase, computational complexity also increases. No systematic benchmarks. Benchmarks basically, they are techniques which are used to identify or evaluate our systems. That okay, which point up to which point our algorithm worked good, then from which place it started decreasing. So there are no systematic benchmarks available for our sequence alignment problems. So can we make a competitor with cluster omega? As we said that cluster omega is able to align 190,000 sequences. Can we make a competitor for cluster omega? So one result is, or the answer is FASTA, but FASTA which is developed for a cloud domain. As we know, we have already seen FASTA and its different examples and applications, but here what we say that a version of FASTA which is developed for cloud-based applications. So what happens is that we have at different times and we have different number of sequences for our MSA algorithm. So what we do on our cloud computing device, if we assign some specific numbers to some specific node. So as you know that a cloud computing device or cloud computer architecture consists of several nodes. So instead of doing all the sequence alignment on one specific node, what we do, we divide nodes on different sequences. For example, we put our first 10,000 sequences on node 1, then 10,000 in node 2 and so on. Then what happens? Those nodes are able to carry out sequence alignment for individual sequences at their specific location. Once those are sorted out, their result is combined with the node second one and the node second one with third one. So what will happen? We have a Hadoop that the results from different nodes are combined at one place and then they are sorted out. So this gives us theory of parallelization. Parallelization means at the same time we are performing different actions at different nodes, but those are in parallel, that for 1 to 10,000 node 1, then from the next phase from to 10,001 to 20,000 node 2. So they are being performed in parallel phases. So our computation will be very fast and will be very good nature wise. So idea is that we have converted our problem into sub problems, and these are very small as compared to the bigger problem. Then we have distributed file system that store data on node. As we already said that we have nodes. On those nodes we have put our data that would be in the form of distributed file systems. And then distributed processing or large data sets across multiple nodes. Finally, what we need some fault tolerant mechanisms, and then we should be having some sharing mechanism, that if some faults occur because we have divided data into different nodes, so there are chances that if some fault occur at one node, it will have effects on the other nodes also. So we should have some fault tolerant mechanism, and then how this information will be shared across different nodes.